Hi, my name is Jacqueline Rose, and I do not think it's a coincidence that you're here. I think you're meant to be here. So if this message resonates with you, click like and subscribe to my channel. This channel is about the spiritual awakening process, the ascension process, self-help, self-love, and self-awareness. My intentions here are always pure. I'm just trying to help anybody I can along on their journey. So I wanted to talk about a greater degree of change in your life, like how to create a greater degree of change. Because I always say you can't do the same things over and over again and expect the same result. We all know this. Okay, so with weight loss, what I was able to do is, quick background story. I know I say the story all the time, but I lost 75 pounds, and whenever I started this journey, April 27th, I had seen a neighbor of mine lose about 45 pounds. She went to a clinic, and I remember the moment sitting in my bed going, I have to do something different. Like, I saw her, and it was inspirational, but I also didn't want to go down exactly the same route she did. So I just did something different, and I went to a clinic, and I got support. This was creating a greater degree of change. So I kept trying to do things on my own because I had once before been able to lose weight on my own. And obviously, weight or food is a vice for me because this is why my weight fluctuates so much. I didn't realize that back then, but now I do. So I did something different than I used to do because I could not do it in my own. So when it comes to weight loss, my biggest suggestion is you don't have to do it like I did it. Everybody is different. That's with anything. You don't have to do the same things I do. They may not work for you. But I do keep saying that you need to change up the combination to your problem. Okay, so your schedule you're not able to basically work out as much as I did, then you're going to have to figure out other ways of moving or what days you will be able to work out. You also have to, with the food thing, you have to try different stuff. Maybe keto will work for you. I am a firm believer of no dieting, just mine. Sometimes I think some diets can kickstart you, but I think if you're losing it too quick, you really have to invest. Like I invested time and money into this clinic and going there every week and doing it slowly. When you invest that energy, even if it's money, if it's time, there's an energy exchange there. So I definitely think that when it comes to the food portion of it, you got to figure out what is going to work best for you. If one thing didn't work, then don't do that anymore. Try something different. I am just a firm believer on changing up a lifestyle, and that takes time. If you're going to do the Atkins diet and you lose 20 pounds in a month, you really haven't dealt with the reasoning or why you did it and didn't put a whole lot of investment in. You want to put some investment in, that's with anything. With careers, I mean, if let's say you have a career that you want to go after, but you were doing the same thing over and over again. So let's do a different degree of change or a greater degree of change. You're going to go out and seek somebody that would write your resume better, right? Or you're going to go to a different website where you would put your resume at. Or you're going to start scouting different places that you want to go. And I know they just have you send in your resume, which I hate that crap. But you'll go in with your written resume, ask for a manager, and personally hand it to them. So you're just going to do something different. You're going to start talking to more friends and saying, hey, do you know of anything out there? You will create something different. If you have a problem with even finding out what your passion is. For me, what I did is start writing down the things that I research and look up. If you know, I just do it on my free time. What are the things that I like to do on my free time? Well, when I was really depressed, I like to just sit there and do nothing. But now there are certain pathways that I'm interested in. And what are the strengths I already have? You list them out, you look at them, and then you start to maneuver and go, okay, what with these strengths and my interests could I do? Does it seem like that could be really far-fetched that I could get there? Well, that's just a perspective. So what if you want to be a doctor, you love healing or nursing? Yes, it's going to take a lot of time. Doesn't mean you can't do it. It's always little steps. But you have to look at the greater degree of change. I had to start going into my life and doing things different than I used to. The way I talk to certain people. My husband used to always ask me to go do things outside, and I was like, nah, I just like to sit inside. I don't like going outside. And so I stopped doing that. I was like, no, I want to go hang out with my husband. Like, let's go do that. And then I'd have so much fun doing the things that he asked me to do. Like, and I would just, do things that were just unlike us. And so that creates a new version of you. Same with, I wanted to mention something on weight loss just because I have that background when it comes to weight loss and emotions. I really think you have to do a lifestyle change, because if you use food as an emotional vice, and whether you are conscious of this or not, if you have gained a lot of weight that is unhealthy for your body, or you have always had weight that is unhealthy for your body, you may have taken on also, if you've always been overweight, something in childhood, and then that was your coping mechanism because you saw your grandma or your mom using food. Or every time, because I have to be conscious of that with Jackson, if he's upset and I give him a cookie, I don't want him also to think that food is something that soothes, because that's kind of what happened to me, or part of it. So it's always, in my opinion, it's always emotional. There's something emotional going on. If you're smoking cigarettes, if you're drinking too much, if you have too much weight, if you're having sex with random people all the time, I've talked about that. It's always something emotional. So you have to go down to that core. The keto diet is not going to help you figure out how you got there in the first place. It's going to make you feel good for a better amount of time. But if you cannot get to that core, and that was so important for me, is to get to the core reason of why I ate in the first place and started dealing with my emotional things. Now, I want to tell you, it's a lifestyle change, because it will forever affect your life. Just like an alcoholic is always an alcoholic. They never stop being an alcoholic, even if they're sober. And that would still be with somebody that uses food as a vice, or not using food as a vice. You could go that way too, as controlling the food, because then there would be that too. I mean, you really could, it's a control aspect to it, or out of control. So really diving in deep inside and figuring out what is going on, because if you lose the weight and you don't do the work of why you use that or suppressed emotions, then you could end up back in the same spot. Look, if people make comments about my body, it is very uncomfortable for me. Not like positive comments, but even like my husband made a positive comment to me the other day. He said that he liked that my body was a little juicier. And let me tell you something, like, I know he was trying to be nice and he's sweet, but it did bring tears to my eyes, because I always have to look in the mirror. I always have to check myself. I have to be conscious of the scale and not always getting on it and looking at food. It is a forever thing. Body image is huge for women, and it is a lifestyle that we have to incorporate, the self-talk and the self-discipline. You have to do it. This will not happen overnight, but when you do a slow process of losing the weight and getting a little bit more active in your life, and the changing of the self-talk in your mind, then you slowly can create this lifestyle change. I believe you have to do it that way. I've done Atkins. I've done lean cuisines. I've done counting calories, which really did help me in the end. I've done it all. But what I didn't do was realize that I use food as a vice. I kind of knew that, but I didn't even realize the emotions that were going on. I really had to deal with or confront my emotional baggage, so I could get a healthy way to get that under control, and then get my lifestyle under control, if that makes sense. The whole video is about degree of change, and I want you to see that when it comes to careers or money. Like I even said, like, if you have money problems, which, I have money problems sometimes, I like to spend money, then you would go to see a financial advisor. So we create a greater degree and change in every part of your life. I hope this makes sense. I hope this makes sense on your journey. Holler for a motherfucking dollar. Peace.